What is going on? You guys, you know what time of the week it is. It's another bench pressing episode. So stay tuned. We're getting right into it. Look at that bar speed, though. It's moving fast, as always. This is just a quick little warm up. I see it said a lot online that, like, people tend to take really long at warm ups. I never really got that. So, like, here's just an example, a really simple warm up. Did I? I think before this, I did some body weight movements. So just push ups, a little bit of stretching for like a minute, not even, then some pull ups, chin ups. But I hop right over to the main accessory lift. I start with the empty bar, and then I just go up in intervals, right? Like today, I'm going to 255 for a top set. And so when I get near 200, I kind of just slow how fast I'm going up. And something new that I've changed with my warm ups is I don't get nearly as close to my working set weight in my warm up. I try to stay 10, 20, even 30 pounds away. You can probably do a little better. But I just keep jumping to these weights, make small jumps. So in the beginning, it's bigger plates. As you get closer, depending on your weight, you might change that. And then I'm doing a couple reps, like 2 to 3 reps, just trying to make sure everything's firing. It feels good on the way up. Not trying to burn a lot of energy. That's the thing with this warm-up I like is it saves a lot of energy for the working sets, for the workouts. Uh, I know years ago, sometimes when I started with the bench press warm up, I used to start with like the plates and just do like a set of like 25 and just a burnout set of how many I could do. And then I would add a little bit more and do another one. I might not get 20 that time, but I would basically do as many reps as I can going up. It's almost the opposite of what you want to do, especially when you're strength training. You want to be fresh, so you don't want to burn all those energy on useless sets or even getting close to that working weight if you're not going to accomplish it. You just want to save that energy, right? So we get through the warm-up, whatever. We're feeling good this week. We went up a little bit last week. Go check out that video if you haven't seen it already. Last week we had about 230 on the bar for sets of 8 to 10, and they moved really well. That's a little high of a rep range for our goal of getting stronger, and so I know I had to add more weight on the bar. Today, really good result. I said I worked up to 225 at the end of my warm-up for 3, and then I hopped to 240, 250. 5 sets across for 5 reps for all of them. Pretty good training, pretty good result. So excited to see that the training is working, and I'm only 20 pounds away from like my 2 rep max. I know that's going up next time I try it. The only question that I have here is, do I want to run up to it so fast or take one more week at 255, then go ahead and jump up that 10% to 270, and bam, I'm going to hit that side of 270 depending on how that goes. If it's trash, then do it again next week. If it goes really well, I'm going to really consider going up to 300 just for the last week for some singles, and then just pulling back one more time before actually trying 315, right? Like, everything's feeling good. I'm recovering on time. Kind of feels like I'm recovering ahead of schedule, so let's hope that keeps it up. The only hesitation I have is I just pulled back the weight. What is it? It's the end of October now. It's like October 25th. In the beginning of October, I just pulled back, and I only pulled back to about 185 to 200, and I'm already at 255. I want to make sure I'm milking, all the stimulus I can out of this training session, right? Like, there's a lot to adjust to a weight from it being your 1 rep max to a 3 rep max to a 5 to a 8 to a 10. And there's somewhat of different benefits, right? We got our strength training in the lower reps. In the higher reps, we have our endurance or hypertrophy training. So there's a lot to milk out of a weight. So just because you can do it for even 3-5 reps, you can do better. You can do more, right? So let's talk about this set. Something really good I did on this set was that spinal decompression, where you pull your shoulders down and kind of squeeze your lower back together. Cues are really helpful. I know they can kind of vary from person to person. So some cues that you may hear may not be useful for your friend and vice versa. But a tight back, just pinching my shoulder blades together, thinking about pulling my shoulders down to my butt. This is a famous cue for the bench. That has really helped me. Another thing that has really helped my bench press sets, though, I would say, is my feet placement. I was a little off, right? You want that tight feet position. My feet may have been a little too close before, so I do apologize, yeah. And by moving them a little further away, kind of getting that knee angle closer to 90, but not all the way, I can still get that leg drive, and it's not pushing me in the air. It's going into the bench where it's supposed to be, right? So you see me do some heavy pressing, a little bit of tricep accessory work up until now. I'm just getting hyped up. That's what that head bobbing is. The song must be good. But this is my stretch exercise. I said before in another video, I kind of always stuck between the machines, the cables, and the dumbbells, right? The dumbbells kind of irritated my arm and my shoulder in the beginning when I was first starting this process. And so I kind of let those fall by the wayside, just been using the cable and the machines. But they're both so useful, and yet they feel so limited at the same time, if that makes sense. So I do 2 sets of machine flies and then 2 sets of cable flies from a different angle. Now, we'll go back to this bench press because we are on this video, right? Like I said, I did 5 sets of 5 across, right? Like, why didn't I go up in weight? Again, like, there's a lot to milk out of a certain weight before you move up. If I went up in weight, I may have had compromised form. You don't want to practice bad form. I may have not got as much reps out. Like, there's almost always time in the future, right? Unless you're getting like 40s, 50s. I'm kidding. But like, unless you're dying, there's almost always time in the future. So if you have a certain prescription for a day and you can do the reps, good. Knock out the reps, do them as perfectly, as good as possible. And then next time when you come back, take that into account and adjust accordingly. But one of the biggest mistakes I made that kind of kept me, I guess, like a lifetime intermediate for a little bit, couple months, a year, I was always jumping around in weight. I wasn't comfortable with the weight I was using. And I always tried to, this isn't heavy enough. I tried to put more on the bar, or I'm not getting enough reps, so I would pull off. But like, you got to have a plan in the gym. You got to be strict. Like, I say prescription a lot because it's like the prescription to me, a doctor gives its patients. The doctor gives you certain kind of medication or certain prescription. I keep saying it so much now, to make you better, to heal you. And so if you do that, if you follow it, you're going to get the desired result. That's how I think of my training, and it has to be structured and such. And so all these crazy jumps in weight do nobody favors. Now, real fast, a good cue that I thought about on the machine flies, you see how those elbows are straight. If you think about pulling your elbows together, like I find that really helps me get a little bit more of a pec squeeze, and just adding in that pause, right? Squeezing, taking your time with the rep, making sure you're not relying on momentum. You're feeling the concentric and the eccentric phase. They were feeling a little funny. I just wanted to stand up. Sometimes things hit different. You guys know what I'm talking about. You're like, I bet this would feel good in this way. So I stood up, tried them, got a nice set accomplished. Now let's get to these overhead tricep extensions, right? On this bench day, it's a bench day, so the triceps are a secondary goal here, or maybe even a third goal. So it doesn't really matter what you use as long as you can, 1, accomplish some kind of marginal power improvement, force improvement. You can lift heavier with the weight, like a tricep extension. And 2, if it gets some kind of stretch, right? You want to hit a couple different heads of the tricep. You know, you have the long head, the short head. Is it the median head? You have more than one head of the tricep, though. But you want to make sure you're kind of just going heavy and getting nice stretch. You don't really have to be as specific as an arm day, a tricep day. You don't have to focus on all 3 heads of the tricep, because that's not our goal here. You want that? Go to an arm day. These are the other side of the chest flies, right? The first one I do is level, lateral. My arms just come straight across from my body. But these, I do 2 ways. They both start from the bottom, but one I kind of angle my body up and squeeze upward, and the other I'm dragging my hands through my hips, kind of like scooping a pail of water, scooping up. Again, I think this is great for the lower pec. Squeezing those elbows together again here really allows me to feel it. Get a nice stretch. Like, if you look at those pecs, my pecs look huge. My pecs are saving my shirt. Otherwise, my gut would be poking out right now. But if you made it this far, as always, thanks for watching. Here's going to be a shameless plug. I think I'm going to, quick update to the channel, guys. I think I'm going to post 2 times during the week, mostly Wednesday and Thursday, and then once again on the weekend, so Saturday. So that's 3 videos a week. Yeah, that's all. If you like this video, like, subscribe, show a friend. We're trying to get stronger. You've seen it here these past couple weeks, folks. The bench is going up. I started at 150 with a nagging shoulder, and we're pressing 250 for reps, right? So we are 60 pounds away from the goal. I know we're even closer than that if you actually do the math and break it down. But back to the video, right? Like, the process of getting stronger, it's really not hard. And I think people overcomplicate it, myself included, right? Like, it's really just lifting heavy weights. Lifting heavy weights the right amount of times to get the desired results. And sometimes lifting those heavy weights is going to be less than you think it's going to be, but that's okay. As long as you're lifting heavy weights, you're progressing in some kind of way, right? Like, I am consistently at this point seeing rep PRs, set PRs, and if I'm seeing that, that means I'm lifting more. If I've lifted, you can go add the math, but I think last time it was 250 for 3. If I do 250 for 5 sets across for 5 reps, that's 25 reps of stimulus at 250 pounds. I've never gotten that before. That's the kind of stuff that's going to cause adaptation and growth, right? So if you want to get stronger, first, your training has to be organized in such a way to make you stronger. But even on the muscular side, you just got to have bigger muscles, right? We all know that the cross-sectional size of the muscle has correlation with how much force it can output. Simply put, the bigger the muscle is, the stronger it is, right? So get a little hypertrophy training in there. That's what the stretching is consistently. Trying to get bigger pecs, trying to get nicer pecs. I think it's working. And then the pressing is the strength stimulus. You just do these two over and over and over and over again in a smart, consistent way, then you're going to get stronger. And truth be told, I'm kind of simple. Life, there's been a lot of adjustments for me. This isn't the place for that. But I'm going back to school, kind of ran through some new jobs, trying to find out what works best for me with training, YouTube, all that good stuff on the side. But life's been a little stressful. I've fallen off the wagon a ton this past year. That's what happens, though. Like, even the best fall off the wagon, right? But if you're smarter than me, if you really drill down, I mean, you lock in, you don't have a significant other, you have no kids, you have nothing else, and you make this everything, you could hit this goal faster, and the sky's the limit, right? Like, obviously, I'm not content. I'm not making any excuses. I'm saying I sucked, and I could have been better, so you guys can be better, right? Like, lock in. Write down your food every day. Another thing I noticed on a side note, a tangent, scratch that. It's not a tangent, relevant to the video. Another tangent is, I say it again. I'm a trainer, and I've been training. I am 25 now. I've been training since I was 14. The first 3 or 4 years were very consistent. Then life happened, had a 1 or 2 year miscap, and I've been very consistent afterwards. I don't think I was getting enough protein. And part of that had to do with when I first started, not even when I first started, when I really started locking in more and more, right? There's levels to this. I was 180 and 200. So when I was there, I know I needed around 180 grams. But on the low end, right, there's that range from 0.8 all the way up to 2.2 grams per pound of body weight. You can look the formula up for how much protein you need. But I was a lower weight. And, okay, that was enough protein at that point. But since May of last year, I've gained about 40 pounds, 45 pounds-ish. That's at least 45 more grams of protein I needed in my diet. And since I've started manually drinking 2 protein shakes a day, right? They're just like 30 grams. So I'm drinking at least 60 on top of my regular diet, where I always strive to get at least 30 to 60 grams of protein in each meal, preferably on the higher end. But just making sure I'm drinking more protein, I feel better. I look better. Like, I am heavy. I am borderline fat. Like, I know if you put in my BMI, I am obese. I am 222. I'm 5'10". But, like, I have a visible ab line. And, like, it's part musculature, but, like, I don't think I was drinking enough protein and giving my body the resources you need to recover. So that's a mistake, right? Don't be so caught up in your ways that you don't revisit the simple things from time to time, because we all make mistakes. None of us are perfect, and things change, right? Some people's bodies are different than others. Some people's body can use the higher end of that protein intake. You may be 200 pounds and need 300, not need, but feel better on 300 grams of protein a day, right? Like, you have to experiment. You have to see what works with your body and what doesn't. We're getting to the end of this, so my bad, guys. This video was a lot of ranting, a lot of going over what I did wrong, what I did good along this path. I hope you got something out of that. I think we're going to change up the way we do these videos just because, one, we're getting so close, right? So stay tuned to that. I hope you liked it. Again, if you liked this video, if you found it useful, please like, subscribe, share below. I'm going to put some music to end this video out. Watch these lifts, big stretch, heavy lifting. But let me know if you guys like the music below. Like, if this music's whack, I never get a reaction on it, so I don't know. If it's whack, give me a thumbs down below. If it's not whack, that would mean a thumbs up. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I am out of here.